let me start by saying I love the game of basketball. And LeBron James, as much some people like him, some people don't like him. I know a hardcore Lakers fan who despises LeBron James, and they have their reasons, and it's all good. I still love the sports of basketball, and I respect LeBron James. He's been in the game for a while now, but he is currently he is the oldest active player in the NBA today. And that's significant. Think about it, because there's some other people that were older than him who were active. However, they weren't actually playing. They weren't starting. They weren't in rotation, but they were there just in case the worst case scenario, all their bigs got injured and had to go in and had to handle their business. But like LeBron, he's up there, but he's still doing great work. That can't be denied. There's some issue, I see how he plays. His defense is trash. His defense is absolute trash nowadays. I've seen him play last year. Yeah, he can drive, he can finish, he can shoot some free throws, and sometimes he can shoot some threes. But when it comes to defending, let me show you. So people about to drive to him, and this is what he does. He's like, the basketball's coming, and he's just like, and that's essentially what's happening. He's not defending. He's not defending, people. That's not happening. It's not. So let me see if I can pull it over here. Y'all can see the reaction. Let's see what he has to say. LeBron James, Mr. James himself, LeBrizzle for shizzle. Let's take a look to see what he has to say about his reaction when he found out that he is the oldest active player in the NBA.
The oldest player in the NBA. Your reaction? LeBron James is the oldest player in the NBA. Your reaction?
There you go. That's his reaction. That's how he responds. He looks good. He can still jam the basketball in. He can still go in there and jam the ball. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He can do it all, ladies and gentlemen. He can still do it all. Boom shakalaka! But he is he's much wiser. He's the wisest NBA player today. So what do you think about that? Leave your comments down below. Let me know. Let's see what Steph Curry has to say. So ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the NBA has asked Stephen Curry what it's going to be like going into his 15th year as a Golden State Warrior in the game. Talking to all these wise folks, talking to all these folks with wisdom in their minds. So let's go ahead and break that down real quick. Get this ready for you. Holla at ya, boy. Let's see what he has to say. Yo, let's go. I wonder if I'm going to get hit with this. I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm not monetized, so who cares, right? Who freaking cares? Who cares?
You've played your whole career in one uniform. How important, you love history of the game. How important is it for you to have done everything in a Warriors uniform and continue and finish as a Warrior for life, hopefully with Draymond and Clay as you guys keep going for championships?
Now, that's a great question. So let me pause it real quick, add some transformation into this. For context, for those of you who may not know, Stephen Curry is a point guard. He is a point guard. PG point guard, but I say point guard. He's a point guard. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's go. Now, I remember when the Golden State Warriors weren't all that in the bag of chips, man. I've been a Warriors fan long before Stephen Curry even got drafted as a Golden State Warrior. I'm talking about Latrell Sprewell. We're talking about Mullen. We're talking about Eric Dampier. Oh, yeah, we're going way back. We're talking Baron Davis. We're talking about Barnes. We're talking about all these people that used to be a Warrior. And I used to be a fan, even when they weren't doing well. Because, the whole, you don't. It's hard to have that conversation. Like, whatever teams you want to be a fan of, please do. I'm not going to hate on you. Like, I remember when back in the day we were in high school and shit, I was like, oh, you're a 49er one day? Oh, but now you're a a Raider, oh, you jumping on the bandwagon, or you a Ram now, you jumping on the bandwagon. Look, I don't care what teams you like. You can like more than one team. It's totally okay. I support whatever you like. It's okay. I'm not gonna hate on you for that. I've always been a Golden State Warrior, and people started giving me shit because I'm a Warriors fan, and they thought because, since they were winning championships all of a sudden, that, oh man, you just a Warriors fan because they win championships. No, I was a Warrior before they were winning championships. It's nice to be a fan of a team who all of a sudden got their stuff together. Steve Kerr popped up in there. Then they really tightened up with, they started building around Stephen Curry. And there was no end in sight. Kevin Durant was there for 2 seasons, and then 2 or 3, whatever the case was. He picked up an injury. Raptors won. Klay Thompson took 2 devastating injuries. Took him a while to come back, even last year with the management loading, which was gross. That was part of the reason why they did so poorly on the road, because every time they went on the road, they would low manage their stars. So Steph, Klay, Draymond, Andrew, they'd be sitting on the bench while their second unit would be playing for them on the road. It's like, wait a minute. And then to be honest, let's be clear here, their bench, they're good. They were good, but they just weren't working as a team. They weren't cohesive enough. They weren't as connected as the first team, as the starting 5. And as a result, every time they had a road game, they just forgot how to play the game of basketball, man. And even when they were starting on the road, that's one of the worst records on the road for an NBA team that won a championship the year prior. It was embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing, and they know this. They acknowledge this. They own this, and yeah, they were so close. Unfortunately, they lost to the LA Lakers with Granddaddy James, but they did put one hell of an effort, considering Stephen had picked up 2 injuries last year. He had picked up a shoulder injury, then he picked up a knee injury. I think he actually picked up a knee injury first, and then he picked up a shoulder injury afterwards. I remember these things, and they were very devastating to your boy. They were winning some games without him, but it was rough when he was not there. And here's another thing, Jordan Poole. I'm going to keep my eyes on Jordan Poole. I have him on my list. He's up there in the top ranks in my fantasy basketball league that's going to be going down at 1 p.m. today. Yeah, that's going down. I cannot wait to see what ends up happening. He is up there, though. He's going to have a lot to prove being with the Washington Wizards. A lot to prove. And the biggest thing that really held him back was his attitude. At the end of the day, this dude can ball. And facts, you can't deny the facts that Jordan Poole is, he was the third, what was he? He was the second leading scorer on the team behind Stephen Curry. And so, like, if you traded Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, that wasn't because of his performance. That was because of his attitude. That was because of his charisma or lack thereof, and his chemistry with the team. I personally believe, I don't know if that's 100% factual. There's a whole bunch of rumors out there. That whole situation that happened between him and Draymond.
Welcome, punch!
I don't need to get into that, but what I'm telling you is that oh my goodness, that was wild, bro. That happened before the season even started. Y'all already know the background. If you want to know more, please let me know in the chat. I'll be more than happy to explain the shit that went down last year. But yeah, that didn't help them at all. But obviously they picked Draymond over Jordan, and Jordan's over at the Washington Wizards looking all depressed and sad, which I can't play because of YouTube. But oh, that's where their loyalty lies. They are sticking with Draymond, the one who's won more championships, the one who is a defensive genius. He knows how to pass the ball. Sometimes you don't even see the ball in his hands, and it ends up with Klay Thompson all of a sudden with magic. You know what I'm saying? Straight up magic, baby. Anyways, back to Stephen Curry, man. Like, this guy can ball, man. Like, he obviously didn't start his first year. He's an incredible shooter. He's one of the best shooters to ever do it in this game. One of the best 3-point shooters to ever grace the NBA. They should be grateful to have this man on this team, for reals. Like, not even like on the Warriors, just being in the NBA playing for them. Like, he is an absolute genius when it comes to the ball. He can finish very well. He knows how to dribble the ball very well. His free throws is in the high 90s. Yeah, all I have to tell you is this. Watch the last couple games of the Sacramento Kings playoff series. Your mind will be blown, bro. When he shut them down in the fourth, that was magic. I saw that shit. I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is amazing stuff. This is the Stephen Curry that I know is there, and he was consistent. He was like one of the few that was consistent. Klay Thompson, to be fair, he was coming back from 2 devastating injuries, from an ACL and then Achilles straight after that. Those were devastating because that took him out for almost like 2 seasons, man. He came back towards the end of 2021-2022 season, and they ended up winning the championship that year. That was a great comeback story for Klay Thompson. But last year's season, he was essentially on a high load management where he was only playing every other game. So if he was playing at home, the next game he would be load managing. He wouldn't play. Then the next game he would play, but obviously that was a problem because his output was not there. It wasn't there. All of a sudden, second half of the season, this is after the All-Star break, he's still low managing at the beginning. So, he plays a game and then he sits the next game. But at some point, they were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just remove this load management BS on Klay, because as you can tell, he's not doing very well. As we know, Klay Thompson can perform. We know this. We know that Klay Thompson's incredible. He's great. He can shoot threes with his eyes closed. He can do it, And like, as soon as they took him off of load management and he was playing every game, guess what happened? He actually started playing like Klay Thompson. How about that? It was just amazing to see that change. And it was almost immediate. Almost like that. As soon as they took him off of load management and he was playing every game, his rhythm came back. Unfortunately, it was too late. And then what else happened? The whole situation with Draymond. Draymond. He's very passionate. He loves the game of basketball. Some referees they have a problem with him speaking, so he gets text just for this being present. And of course, there were some things. He accidentally stopped on Sabonis. Was that accidental though? Who knows? Only Dre would know. And you're in the moment. Maybe it happened and it was an accident, but they suspended him the next game, and obviously that affected the Warriors. Did they win that next game? I think they may have lost that one. And yeah, they used that as like, man, wish they weren't playing politics here on this, because Sabonis was fine. He started playing that next game. He wasn't out. And yeah, it hurt. I'm sure getting stumped in the chest, that ain't great. That's not a good feeling. But anyways, back to the video. Steph, what do you know? You've been with the Golden State Warriors since day one, and you have continued to be a Golden State Warrior, and you go through the goods and the bads. You're in the 15th year. What's going on? Holla at your boy.
I've said it before. It means everything. I'm in my 15th year. No need for a change of scenery at this point. So just a matter of, like you said, being in a position where you can. It's not a ceremonial thing. It's we're really here to win.
So you hear what he said? He said he's in his 15th year. There is no point in switching scenery. So you heard it from the person's mouth. There's no intention of him leaving the Golden State Warriors. Yay. This is great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is great stuff. Now, continue.
And I'm doing everything I can to continue to be a leader on that front, perform at a high level, and put ourselves in a position to be championship contenders. You can't control everything. You can't guarantee anything in this league.
And that's 100% true, man. Oh, man, I remember, and I think this was when he wasn't playing in this game. He didn't play this game. This was the Golden State Warriors versus the Utah Jazz. They were in Utah, and the Warriors were up. They were up by I think 8 points or something like that. I don't have the stats in front of me. I just remember this was a devastating loss. Garden Hammer, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, man? Welcome in. There might be a lag, so... So I apologize for that. Oh my God. I figure my chat's gonna get to you faster than me talking to you. So it's all good, my friend. So thank you so much for being here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. But yeah, we're talking about basketball. We're talking about sports. The NBA fantasy draft is gonna be coming through in a couple hours. And I got my rankings all set. I got my people I don't want to include, which we'll talk about after this interview, which is almost over. But Mind you, Stephen Curry, he's in his 15th year. Just a year prior, he won a championship. He won a championship with the Golden State Warriors. He still performs at a high level. People are calling him the greatest shooter to ever be alive to shoot the basketball. I am inclined to agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I am 100% inclined to believe that. I've seen these games. I've watched every single Warriors game last year, and I continue to do that. I continue to do that one way or the other. Just waking up, brain is somewhat here. It's all good, Guardian Hammer. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I really appreciate you being here for reals. And that's part of the issue with my stream time. Like, I'm streaming at 6 in the morning. It's 6:57 a.m. my time, and when I'm streaming, folks asleep, man. But this is like the one times I get to actually stream, which we might actually come back on later on today, and we'll probably we'll reset the cycle and we'll go on Twitch later on, maybe today. But I need to focus on the NBA fantasy draft and the basketball game between the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. Will be popping off at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I forget, but it's all good. But yeah, incredible. You can't guarantee anything, but yeah, back to the Utah Jazz game. I got completely sidetracked because I saw a chat, so it's okay. Chat's way more important. I'm always going to prioritize my chat over anything I'm talking about, anything that I'm doing. It makes complete sense. Utah Jazz, Golden State Warriors. This is the fourth quarter. There's a couple minutes left. There's like 2 minutes left. Golden State Warriors are up, and like they're up by a lot at this point. And for some reason, some way, they lose at the very last second, and it was because of turnovers. The Golden State Warriors turned the ball over and then gives the ball back to the Jazz. The Jazz scores it at the very last second, and that was it. That was very devastating. I'm going to see if I can find this. This might be risky. I might get hit with a content claim for it. But I'm going to look around for it because that was so devastating. I have to share it. It was so devastating. So I actually need to pull up this one because that one's going to be nice. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. But finish what you were saying, Steph. I'm sorry to interrupt. What were you saying?
Every team's trying to, get better, and that's the nature of the competition. But if I can keep doing that every year and, like you said, still represent this organization, all that we've built, it's a dream come true.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you hear him. So, like you said, Stephen Curry's been in the game for 15 years. He's worn a Golden State Warriors jersey the entire 15 years. He has no plans on going elsewhere. That's what he said in this interview. Obviously, things can change. But, he continues to stay ready. I mean, guys, like, if you hadn't paid attention, like, when he was playing a golf tournament and he won the goddamn golf tournament, he can win in golf now. It's like, oh, he's going to be a golfer now? He's going to be a professional golfer just in case things go south with the NBA? You can go ahead and continue to win some championships with the golf stuff. But it's all good. I appreciate Stephen Curry always, and I will continue to follow his progress and follow the team. Obviously, I got to check the roster. I know Chris Paul's on there now. The Phoenix Suns have been making drastic changes. They just got rid of DeAndre Ayton. They just picked up some folks. They got Bol over there. They got some folks from Washington Wizards, from the Trailblazers. They got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Like, this is gonna be an interesting season over here on the West. Of course, over on LA, you got Granddaddy James. You got Anthony Davis. And the question for Anthony Davis is how many games he's going to be playing this year. And that could also be asked for Granddaddy James. He is the oldest active player in the league today who starts. And just in general, and which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being wiser. Sometimes the wiser get better. Stephen Curry, a perfect example of that. He's gotten better every year. He hasn't gone backwards. He keeps improving. It's wild in his 15th season that you keep seeing that. All right, cool. So I'm still looking for that. Let me put on some music real quick. Turn it down a little bit. One click while I look this up. Cause it was a devastating loss, bro. Warriors versus Jazz. The Jazz come back. That shit was stupid. It was so bad. Yeah. Yeah, I found it. Yeah. Yes, I found it, man. Yes, I found it. And we're gonna do it right. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. We found it. We just jam into this, and then when this is over, we'll switch over. I'll share the link in the chat if you want to review it yourself, and then we'll see if we can add some kind of transformity to it, because you know NBA is gonna be coming after me. They're gonna come after me for this. It's all right. I ain't scared of them. We're not monetized, so who cares? All right.
Abaji.
Yeah. Let's go. It's a jam right there. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have found the 3-minute video that I wanted to share with y'all. This is what I was talking about. It's a perfect example of, my God, why are we being punished? This was like the beginning of the end, because this was like the beginning of the season. And this shit was going down. I'm like, what? How? How did this happen? I watched this and I was devastated. I swear to you. I was like, what? No, why? Why? Yeah. So here's the link to the video. I will pin it to the chat. Pin the message. And if you're interested in watching it with me, please feel free to do so. Let me reset. Switch over. We found it. This is devastating. So, like I mentioned, give you a little bit of context of this video. Some transformation of the video. Golden State Warriors. Utah Jazz. They're in Utah. They're in the fourth quarter. There's 13 seconds left on the clock. Think about that. 13 seconds left on the clock. Background. Not black and white. I mean, I'm going to be in this one anyways. But yeah, 13 seconds left on the clock. They're up by, I can't do math, 4 points. 2 possessions. Meaning the opposite team needs to go and shoot at least a 3 or 2 twos to match up or whatever. But this was gross, ladies and gentlemen. So gross. It makes your boy very sad. And I was like, man, this is the beginning of the end. It was at this point right here where I'm like, wow, we got some problems. And this is bad. This is really, really bad. And this is when I believe I'm looking at the back. Let me see if I can improve the quality real quick. Yeah, 720, 60. Give me the full 1080, please. This is where they had their starting 5 load managing. Because again, this is at the end of the fourth. You would have your best players out there, right? Of course. You make sure your best players are out there finishing the game for you. But that's not what happened. This was a game where they had their second team start and play. And they had their first team, their Stephs, their Clays, their Draymonds, their Andrew Wiggins, their Kevon Looney's, load manage and not play. This was devastating. Let's take a look.
Abaji. A quick shot. Have to hurry.
So he passes it over. He's driving. Clay is out there, but he's the only one that's out there. Kevon Looney's also out there. But you have DiVincenzo, and then you had Moody, and who else? Kuminga. These are all great players, by the way. But they weren't your Stephens. They weren't your Draymonds, your defensive player. I think at this point he may have got suspended a game for text or whatever. I forget. Who knows at this point? But my God, look at this. Oh, look. There's no look. So Beasley's open. You have Kevon Looney. He's spaced out. You got 2 people. They're greatly defended. But dude's about to drive and make this shot real quick. Oh, no. He kicks it out. I forgot about this. So he kicks it out to Beasley to shoot the 3. It goes in. So what happened there? So I think what happened, there was a little bit of a miscommunication. not Draymond, Klay Thompson, he's sitting back, right? He's being a little bit conservative. He's not all up on him like DiVincenzo is. You can see my mouse. You can see how DiVincenzo's pretty close up on number 3. You can see Kevon Looney's way back there at the top of the key. He's a center, by the way. So I'm like, why is he way out there? But look at Klay. He's like 3-4 feet away from his defender. He's got all this space. Beasley's asking for the ball at this point. He could have finished at this point, but because of how Moody, he's very good at on defense. He's able to just kind of help him, like get to him. I mean, he could have finished, but because they are trying to win this game, they're like, yo, let me get this chance. But you see Klay Thompson? He's just walking. He's just walking. He's walking to the ball. Why are you walking? Why? Klay, what are you doing, bro? He's literally just walking to try and get to the ball handler as you would think he's going to finish. But nope, psych. Kicks it out to Beasley. He's wide open. He shoots the ball, and it goes in. So 3 points. Now it's a 1-point game. Now it's a 1-possession, 1-point game with 6.9 seconds on the clock. Guess what happens next?
Beasley, clutch.
So call timeout. Everybody's like, what the hell's going on? But let's take this back. Hold on. Wait, let me see. Let me take a look at Steve Kerr real quick. Let's see what's happening. Kicks it out. Yeah, he just calls timeout. He's kind of shook. He's shook. He doesn't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Oh my God. What a deal here. The Golden State Warriors then put themselves in a situation because Klay Thompson, instead of being right next to Beasley, I would have taken a 2. I would have taken a 2, and then that would have given them the ball back to at least run the clock a little bit, right? But now you're in a situation where it is a 1-point game because Beasley is wide open. Klay's walking to the ball handler to double team the ball handler driving to the basket. But instead, leaves Beasley wide open, shoots the 3. We got a 1-point situation. That's a problem. So let's see what's happening now. So Helen, before, they're talking it out. Let's just skip to the point where they actually start playing again. Because again, I don't want to get hit with this. Okay, so they're just replaying what happened. Everybody's hyping them up. It's like, oh, we can do this. We can do this. So let's see what happens when Golden State gets the ball back. At this point, all they got to do is run the clock, right? They got to, run the clock. If they get fouled, okay, cool. Shoot the ball, whatever. Like, let me see what's happening here.
He saw Beasley wave
Utah's getting hyped.
Had trust.
So let's see what happens here. So we have, I forget some of these guys' names. It's been a while. So Jordan Poole gets the ball. See what happens? He loses the ball.
Had trust.
Let's bring that back. So, time to inbound the ball. Jordan Poole runs out. He passes it pretty well. I think this is a decent pass. This is not a bad pass to Jordan Poole, but this is what happens. Jordan Poole grabs the ball. He loses it because the defender gets the ball. He hits the ball from Jordan Poole. They get the ball back. Beasley with the ball, drives it, passes it over to his teammate, and jams it in. Now they're up by 1 point with 1 second left in the fourth quarter. Golden State has no timeouts left, so they can't advance it to the half-court line. The game is over. I want to see what happens here. Let me look at the reaction of the bench. Yeah, everyone over there is devastated. Devastated. Look at that. Passes it over. Doesn't matter. It gets picked. The game is over. And the Golden State Warriors blows a 4-point lead with 11 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I personally, I know this to be able to happen, but I have never seen such a comeback and the devastation in my life. And this was the very point when I saw this originally, I lost my mind. And this was the absolute point where I'm like, you know what? There's no hope. What are we doing starting all these players? Where's Draymond? Where's Stephen? Klay's playing. Moody's playing. And not Moody, Kevon Looney. Shout out to Kevon Looney. He played every single game this year, and the only reason why he didn't start is because he got put in rotation to come in, in the second team. So otherwise, he would have been available every single game. So devastating. And there was this terrible decision making with the whole load management stuff, like all these things where they could have won these games, but they didn't because they put the second team out there to start, which is like, why? And I get we want to make sure that people last, that, you know, they're not getting injured too soon. And if that's a concern, maybe we shouldn't have 82 games a year. If that's your concern where you have to load manage your teams, maybe we need to go back to the negotiating table and say, yo, maybe 82 games is too much. Maybe it's too many games. I mean, even what the NFL, they have 18 games, and they play on the weekly. Some of these guys play every other day. You know, you play one game, you get 1 day off, you play the next game, you get the game off, you get 2 days off, and you go again, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on. Like it's just a very, very rigorous schedule for any athlete. I don't care who you are. Like, that's a very tough schedule for anybody. So I can understand why you would want to load manage, but it could potentially come at a cost. And for Golden State, that's what happened. That's what absolutely happened for Golden State. That's really unfortunate. Really unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. So this shit is wild, man. Insane. I lost it. And that was the point where it's like, man, this is gonna be a rough season. It's gonna be a rough season for us. And lo and behold, we're no longer, you know, the reigning defending champs. We're starting over from scratch. So, what are your thoughts on that? Who knows? It's all good, and that's all with alcohol. So what? We streamed for over an hour. I was going to stream for maybe a little bit more, but there's actually a interview that's going to be going on right now at 7:30. The Joker has an interview with one of the executives of Kick, Eddie. And I actually want to watch this. I want to see what questions are going to be asked. I know Eddie he comes off as a very authentic individual, and I want to see what questions are going to be asked. So we're just asking general stuff like, when's Kick's gonna be coming up, or when are we gonna get console support, like all this stuff we've asked this individual multiple times. Then this is not gonna be that great of an interview, and I'm just being honest. Like, we're just asking the general stuff. That's not gonna be great. I'm wondering to see what questions are going to be asked. Like, what is your reaction? Obviously, I don't know. Has he had an interview since that whole thing went down with the whole ICE thing? I have no idea. That's going to be an interesting question to ask. Like, so obviously, you know, you were in the chat when this whole ICE thing went down, and it wasn't a response that people expected. What happened during all of that, and what have you done since then? Like, that's a good question to ask, I think. I think that's a safe question to ask. I don't think it would be like out of the ordinary to ask a question like that, especially since that was a very polarizing event that took place. And like, what actions are being taken, or what actions are we not taking, stuff like that, you know. That's just me brainstorming things, you know. I'm not hating, not being disrespectful, just asking general questions. I would ask someone who was in that situation, what are you doing about that? What have you done about that? Other things like the API, like we did get a tweet recently earlier this week about the Kick API. We're still waiting on that. And for those of you who don't know, essentially the API is going to help us gather more information about like our streams, like our analytics as we have it right now for Kick is as basic, if that is, it's barely basic. We don't even have any detailed information about our streams, like when does it peak, when does it not peak, like what are the best times to stream, what games are best time to be played, or we can implement games to where your chat can interact with the in-game, things like that is what this API is supposed to be providing. But there's been rumors that was supposed to come out like a few months back, and it has yet to come out. And the update was that there are some security concerns with releasing the API, so they're just making sure to fine tune it before they release it, which I can respect. I can understand that, and I appreciate the transparency on that. There's a lot more transparency on things like that compared to transparency issues when, for example, your boy doesn't get verified, and to be given a vague response as to why we gotten denied verification. I can't fix the problem if you can't tell me what happened or why, you know? That's my thing about all of it. You know, I had my whole rant about the situation earlier in the stream, but as I reflect on that rant at the end of the day, I just want to know what I need to do to fix it. You know, if it is, oh, well, you know, this occurred, and if you could fix that, then please try again after you have resolved that issue that we discovered. Like, I would rather you do that and be upfront and 100% with me than you just give me a vague response saying check our terms of service. Like, I'm following your terms of service. So that's where the issue lies, right? That's where that confusion and the sadness and anger comes out, because it doesn't tell me exactly what I did incorrectly to not get verified. You know? So it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bump to one more song, and then we're going to go ahead and end it, because I want to take a break, get my coffee, I want to get something in my stomach, and I want to review this interview that's going to be going down on the Joker's channel, and I just want to observe it and see what's going on with that. I just like to keep my eyes open. I'm always watching, as you know, and always interact when I can. So thank you so much for hanging out with your boy. Let's go ahead and put on one of my favorite songs out of this entire playlist, which is streambeats.com. That's right, streambeats.com, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fantastic website for music that you can play in your streams, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on Kick, whether it's on YouTube, and you will not get a copyright claim or copyright strike. One of the things we're always concerned about when we're playing music on our streams. So shout outs to Harris Heller, shout outs to streambeats.com. Make sure you check them out, completely free. I always like to give them a shout out when I do my streams, because these people that put in the work for you to do what you do deserve the credit, you know? And that's what I tried to do with the NBA when I showed you my sadness when the Golden State Warriors lost in the last 11 seconds in the fourth quarter, being up by 4 points, 2 possessions, and they still lost. Normally, when you're up by 2 possessions with 11 seconds left on the clock, that's a sure win. Usually, there's like an 85% chance you're winning that thing. But they completely just ruined, they just awful. They left Beasley wide open for an easy 3, and then Jordan Poole, he probably did very well that game. Let me say this real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. Jordan Poole, I truly hope he does well in Washington, because the issue with him was that he was very inconsistent when he came off the bench. When he was starting, you know, when Stephen Curry picked up those injuries and it was Jordan Poole's turn to start and do his thing, he was giving you 20, 30 points a game. And mind you, he was the second highest scoring player on the team. So if you're a manager, if you are a coach, you would not be in your right mind to trade somebody whose second lead is highest scorer, unless there's an attitude problem, unless there is a personality issue, there is a chemistry problem there. It doesn't matter if you're the highest scoring person. If you are creating a toxicity issue with the team, you the first one out of here. I don't care how good you do. That thing can be compared to like work. You know, I used to be a store manager at a thrift business, and I went into a location. I was assigned to go into the store. Wasn't a great location. It was pretty spooky, if I can be, and that's being nice. But there were some great staff members there, but there was that one who thought that they were the shit. They were the bee's knees. They could do whatever they want. Even though they were good with customers, they were good with bringing people love, they were good with doing their job, they still had an attitude, and they were instigating, causing problems with the staff, which then it resulted in some of the staff not wanting to show up. It's like, well, you know, you messing with my ability to be successful in this location. We need to have a conversation. Of course, we talked. It's like, yo, like, we're noticing this. Like we really appreciate all the hard work you're doing, but we really need you to be a team player here. Like, if there's an issue, please feel free to reach out, and we're gonna work this out, right? That's how we should be handling this. But like, if you're going out of your way, you're talking junk about somebody behind someone else's back, and then it gets to them, and then it comes to me, we're gonna have to have that conversation, because you're causing a environment that is not cool for people, right? And so, not to say this is what Jordan Poole was, but you saw it sometimes on the court, you saw it off the court. Obviously, the whole practice thing when he got Falcon punched by Draymond Green. Falcon punch. Don't know what was said. We probably will never know what was said. We can only guess. Whatever it was, it resulted in Falcon punch. So, and then you saw it, like, there was one game where it was a timeout called, and he and Draymond and Stephen, they're all walking to the bench so they can have a conversation with Steve Kerr. And in fact, actually, I take this back. It was It was Jordan Poole, Stephen Curry. They were all walking back. And Draymond was at the bench. He put his hand out. So, handshake, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Like handshake, let's go. And as he put his hand out, Jordan Poole was like, get the fuck away from me. Like he kind of almost mini shoves Draymond Green. And then it got to a point where even Stephen's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're a team. Let's act like a goddamn team. Let's win this game and let's move on. Like, what's going on here? And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you can score all you want. You can drive and you can do all these nice dribbles and break people's ankles all day. But if you are not a good team player, none of that matters. And you'll be on the next bus to Washington. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, guys. I don't have to ask Jordan Poole what happened here. I don't need to ask Stephen A. Smith what happened. All I did was watch the games. That told me what happened. That's all I need to know. He was not a good team player with the crew. He wanted to do it his way or the highway, and the team was like, no, you can go to Washington. And so that's what happened. And they would rather get CP3. He's almost as wise as LeBron James. But they'd rather get someone with experience, with a team player mentality, someone that's going to instill knowledge and help train the people on the bench. They'd rather have CP3, injury-prone CP3, who has hip issues like I do right now. I understand it. They'd rather have him than have to deal with Jordan Poole. So there you go. Sorry if I hurt somebody's feelings out there, but it's the truth. Watch the games. You'll know what I'm talking about. All right. What the hell was I doing? Playing music. Going too fast. We got to slow it down. Got to find it, and then we can end it. Come on. Don't make it hard for me to find this. I need to put it on the list somewhere where I can find it. Velvet Rain. Okay, let's try this again. We going left. Nope. Dolo. Nope. Toot. No. Velvet Rain. No. Checkpoint. No. Artificial Daydreams. No. Sensei. No. The Motion. No. Where is it? Okay, let me go back. I'll go back. I'm going to click on the hip hop. And it's probably because it's been played before on this playlist that it disappeared. Moving too fast. There we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with your boy. It means the world that you hung out with me today. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Consider doing that today. I can't see the stupid alerts because Stream Elements is like a day behind. I kid you not. But I want to thank you very much for hanging out with your boy JD. I'm ready for the NBA fantasy draft. I'm ready for that. I am ready for the Golden State Warriors and the Lakers in the preseason. I know it's preseason, and obviously the stars aren't going to be playing as long, but I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for what's to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with your boy JD. We'll see you next time. We might be back on later on Twitch, but hit me up on Twitter. That's where you'll know. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.